I remember as a kid going up with friends to creeks up in the glacier area and so on, and seeing the salmon runs. The creek was solid red fish. I mean, you never forget that. And now you see a fish here and a fish there, and it's almost extinct right now. So I've always felt it was important to try to bring those salmon back.
Our ancestors used to go up and down the river on the shovel-nosed canoes to different fishing villages. We were told that they would have a fishing village where they would dry the fish and begin their harvesting for the winter. It's changed drastically to where now the fishermen only have a small window and then that's it. So this is of great significance for us as Nooksack people.
Historically, there were hundreds of thousands of fish living and migrating into the Nooksack River system. Literally tons of salmon caught and brought to the local canneries in the city of Bellingham. There were so many fish that were present that no one ever really thought about a decline in fish populations.
In the late 1800s and the early 1900s, as the area around the Nooksack River was developed, settlers began transforming the river valley. The land was cleared for farming and forests logged for timber. The river channel was straightened and natural log jams crucial to fish habitat were burned and removed. With the destruction of fish habitat, salmon populations declined. Today, wild salmon populations are at less than 1% of their historic numbers, and at last count, less than 30 wild spring Chinook salmon returned to the South Fork of the river.
Our biggest concern right now, 2 species in the South Fork Nooksack that have been listed on the Endangered Species Act list. Early spring Chinook and steelhead. Without habitat restoration, I believe that we're going to lose populations of fish here in this river, and they're not going to come back. And so we need to do everything that we can do to help change and enhance the habitat that is available.
Today, groups are working together to restore habitat on the Nooksack River. A cooperative of tribes, agencies, and restoration partners, working together with local farmers and landowners, are building and protecting beneficial fish habitat. Hard surfaces and rock are being removed or replaced with large wood structures. River edges are being replanted with native trees and shrubs, and engineered log jams are being constructed in the river. The log jams create a diverse and complex salmon habitat, provide shelter from predators, and help sort and hold gravel for spawning beds. Stream currents around the log jams create slow water protected pools, known as scour pools, for the salmon to rest in.
Scour holes and pools are an essential part of fish habitat. We have a lot of migration through this area, and when fish are moving through the stream, they need to have these places of slower water in order to have refuge and to rest as they move and migrate up the system.
For farmers and other landowners along the river, the log structures can provide additional benefits by helping reduce erosion rates and protecting property.
We needed to do a little bit of bank stabilization so that the river didn't take all of our good topsoil or farm away as it slowly moves back and forth in the valley. They put in 3 big hard log jams to keep the river from eating into the farmland, which it had been doing. If they weren't there, I would have lost more of my farmland. And usually the farmland within several hundred feet anyway is some of your best land. That's where the silt from the river goes. So yeah, we're saving that part.
Over the past decade, over 34 restoration projects have been completed in the Nooksack River, restoring nearly 10 miles of habitat. While it will take time and considerably more habitat restoration for salmon to recover, the project sites and log jams are already being used by both adult salmon as they migrate upstream to their spawning beds and by juveniles before they head out to sea.
It takes a lot of people, farmers, the truck drivers, the engineers, our biologists. It takes a whole team of people to make this happen. And And this is just a small piece of what we can do. I think on a larger scale, helping make sure that we have a good water quality and just to keep the salmon coming back for our children and our grandchildren.
One thing we have in common is water. We need water and the fish need water, so we need to balance that. Woody log jams and stuff are good for the fish, and if they preserve my farmland, then they're good for me.
The more we work together, I think the more successful we are as people in this territory, sharing the land and sharing the water, and we're all working towards the same goal of making sure that the salmon return.